And welcome in to another Monday Night Live stream. This is Monday Night Live number, I believe, 10 we're calling it now. I mean, the numbering scheme doesn't really matter too much since we kind of just started calling stuff what it is. Hopefully you're all doing great tonight. I see the chat's already active, so let's go see who's here tonight. As always, David is first. Toro's here. Welcome in, Toro. Eric, welcome in, Eric. Keith Bennett, wow, welcome to the Monday Night Live stream. Joe, looks like Joe's here as usual. Joe just built a Zoom ISO rig. Interesting. I'd like to hear more about that. Yeah, Zoom ISO sounds cool. I've never actually used it before, but I'd like to see how that went for you. Let me look to make sure I'm on the live chat. Yes, I am. So, looks like we got a pretty lively group so far. Haley will be joining us down here as she's scrapbooking tonight.
Hello.
So, oh, Bob Carpenter's here. Welcome in, Bob. David says, feels good to come home from a Costco run and sit down for another Monday Night Live stream. So, David went to Costco. We have a Costco around here. We don't go very often, but
I'm not allowed to go unsupervised.
yeah, as Haley points out, she can't go unsupervised because she'd buy the whole store, or at least half the store. So she requires adult supervision.
Unless it's my mom.
Yeah. Oh, Eric says scrapbooking for the win.
Yeah, I like your friend.
So
Calendars.
yeah, Haley says that's a good one. Keith Bennett says, great to be here. Costco hot dogs.
Yes.
Have you had the hot dogs?
Well, no. But I did have the chicken bacon. It was really good.
Yeah, we haven't had the hot dogs, but apparently the chicken bake is good. We get the pizza from there every once in a while because for $9.99 you get this huge pizza, and you can either get all pepperoni or half pepperoni, half cheese, or all cheese. And so it makes a great pizza buy for parties because it's so big, and it's $10. So Costco pizza is definitely something we get. Tony is in the house. Welcome in, Tony. Eric says Costco is to food as IKEA is to meatballs. Oh, sorry. Costco is to hot dogs as IKEA is to meatballs. And David says he's actually having Costco pizza right now.
That's pretty cool.
We might go to IKEA on Friday or Saturday.
Might.
Might. Oh boy. But we've never had the meatballs. At least I never have.
Well, we got.
She says we're gonna. Alrighty, so let's see here. Yeah, it's a $2 hot dog and pop. You can't go wrong for that combination for $2. Definitely. He says, now I'm hungry. We had grilled cheese and homemade chili tonight. It was excellent. Well, the IKEA is not exactly local to us. I mean, it's local, but it's over an hour away. So, yeah, I guess you could call that local.
You should probably call that a blessing.
If you didn't hear that, Haley says I should call that a blessing so that she's not there at IKEA like she is at Costco. Unfortunately, the Costco is like 10 minutes from here, if that. So that one's harder to keep her away from. Tony had homemade chili tonight. So, alrighty. So looks like everybody's piling in. Usual suspects as always, plus Keith, who's glad you could make it, Keith. So I kind of titled this having more home lab fun because I wasn't quite sure what to do for a live stream, and I've got about 2 or 3 projects that I want to work on. So I kind of want to maybe take a poll and see who wants to go or what wants to go first. The topics that I'm interested in covering tonight are Syncthing on Truenas. I'm going to probably use Syncthing to back up my Truenas data off-site. And then I want to also work on possibly Minarca because I need to do some backups, mainly on Haley's laptop. And Minarca offers a pretty interface that allows you to kind of see what's going on with the backup jobs remotely so that I can monitor her backup jobs without actually getting on her laptop to make sure they're actually processing correctly. And then one of the things I thought about doing, which does require a lot more effort, but we can do it, is see if we could figure out why my old instance of pfsense that was virtualized could never get a public IP address with my cable modem, because my Cisco switches, I think, are causing me issues. That would require a lot more work and effort, but I did plug in a mobile hotspot so I could move with one cable change. I could move my encoder from my cable modem to the mobile LTE connection. I never tried to do that live, so that might be interesting to see what it's like doing that live. We might do that first. Not first, but I mean like before we do that whole thing about the router, because if that dies, then it's not really worth doing the router. So anyway, I should probably tell you a story about this whole network thing, because last night was pretty interesting. In setting up for tonight's live stream, I went to log into one of my Cisco switches, and I could not remember the password. It makes you change it. So I obviously changed it back in August, which was the last time I logged into it, not knowing what the password was. So I had to do a factory reset on the switch. Now, luckily, there's not a lot of configuration of these switches. They're basically just a couple of VLANs, but I spent a good hour or so last night, trying to get in, resetting the VLAN or resetting the switches, building the VLANs, reconfiguring the trunk to the access port, and to get Wi-Fi back so we could actually have Wi-Fi on our phones. And I actually forgot to allow the VLANs across the trunk. So while the main VLAN, the house network, if you will, worked, none of our smart plugs worked because I did not allow the VLAN to go across the trunk port. So lesson learned, document your stuff and back it up, because I did neither one of those things. And yeah, spent an hour last night doing that. The good thing is I got to watch and hang out with Jeremy and everyone on his stream, because I was sitting down here working on that, and I saw that he was live, and so I joined his stream last night. All right, so let's go back to chat. Joe says, "Do you have a Costco membership, or do you sneak in?" Well, to buy things, you have to have a Costco membership. I guess you don't have to for the food, but yeah, for everything else, you gotta.
Maybe that's how you order it.
Yeah. So we have a Costco membership. We pay for that. David also made homemade chili tonight, but he has not ate it yet.
Chili night.
So yeah, apparently it's chili night. Bob says, I had Costco brats for dinner. Brats, for a wrap and sauerkraut.
Got some good dinners going.
David says, I use Syncthing everywhere, one of the best sync utilities out there. Yes, so I'll probably do that one first, since that was kind of what I wanted to get set up. Eric says, a backup LTE connection, let's do it live. Yeah, we can always fail over live and see how it goes. Bob says, you can block pfSense from picking up specific IP addresses on reboot. Well, Bob, that's what I can't figure out why your switch would grab an IP address. That's the point, is for some reason, when I do this virtualized pfSense, the switch is getting the first IP address. It's not actually it doesn't take the IP address, but the cable modem will not pass on, if you will, the internet because the first MAC address it sees is the switch. At least that's the way it used to work. Now, I've upgraded firmware since then. I've replaced the cable modem since then. So if we go down that hole, that rabbit hole tonight, it may work, and then this will, be. But I swear to you, it did not work for a long time. If I rebooted the switch, or a power failure happened, I would have no internet until I reset the modem. Don't know why. So, Toro says hi. Wow, wow, Bob. That's a good one. I wonder if the port going to the modem is on some native VLAN. Yeah, I think I had in my configuration. I think I just had that port being native VLAN 999, and so it should have just saw whatever traffic was on 999 and passed it along, but it didn't do it. Costco, they check your our Costco checks your ID. Well, if you walk in the main entrance on the right hand side, they check your ID. If you walk in the exit past member services, you could go get food without being a Costco member. Whether or not they allow that or encourage that or whatever it is, but you can do it. I did not split the membership with someone. No. Haley and I have the family plan, or I guess whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Bob's joke was Toro says he's here for it. Yeah, that Toro was the one who wanted to see me try that, so we might get to that in a little bit. Bob says, do you have broadcast disabled on the Switch? No. No, I would not. Maybe that's what the issue is. So, anyway, let's just start. So the first thing I wanted to do was do some Truenas stuff, so to get Syncthing going, and then we'll go from there. Since the other one might be in depth and take the stream off the air quickly, so let's do the things that work first, and then we'll get to the risky stuff later, if you will. So let me go over to my PC. So like I said, I run Truenas. Let me take the chat off the air. Hopefully I can do this without revealing too much sensitive information, if you will. I'm not sure what all would be in here that's sensitive, but hey. Yes, I still log in as root. I probably shouldn't do that. This is my internal domain, so this is not used anywhere. So that's nothing sensitive. So basically, as I talked about previously in my system, my overall home lab video, this is a Dell desktop. So I have the it's just an i5 at 3.2 gigahertz. Nothing spectacular by any means. I have maxed out the memory at 16. So it is what it is. I don't really do a whole lot, so I think 16 is pretty good. For my pool, I have what I call the 4-drive array. It's 4 2 terabyte red drives. You could see that I'm at 44% capacity. The most I've ever gotten is about 56, 57. If I'm doing a bunch of snapshots and whatnot, but I try to keep the snapshots down, so that I'm not just wasting a whole bunch of space, but I mean, with that much space left, I really could. I did put a Mellanox 10 gig adapter in it, so it is plugged into the switch at 10 gig. So here you can see some of my data or some of my pools, and if you look at my disk, there's my 4 drives, and in my array. So one of the things Truenas offers, if you didn't know, is plugins. And I'm actually going to delete this one since I haven't used it yet. Uninstall. Uninstall. Why did that not install? Oh, stop probably. I am not a big TrueNAS like plugin person. I've never actually used this at all. So so let's delete this and start over. Let me look back at the chat while we're deleting this thing. Bob suggests maybe DHCP snooping. Yeah. Yeah, it's an old CPU. Yeah, the pool name is original. It's a it's a 4-drive array, so there's 4-drive pool. Yeah, it's not a Core 2, it's an i5. Oh yeah, I'm sure it has to do with the fact that it's a small business switch. But we'll get there. All right, so now that we've deleted the other one, which wasn't actually doing anything, so we're going to go to Syncthing, and then this is the official IX plugin or IX Systems plugin. So we're going to install, and we're going to get really original on the naming. So for the jail name, I'm going to call it Syncthing. I do not want it to do NAT, so I'll choose DHCP. Yeah, no reason to do a NAT behind the thing. So we're going to let it install. That's interesting that it installs Nginx. I guess it would need to for the web interface. So looking at the chats, due to that, the switch will grab an IP address from whatever DHCP server responds first. See, that's kind of what I figured that was the issue is that the switch is looking for, well, it was looking for a DHCP address. I made it a static entry, so it shouldn't be doing DHCP for the management, and the management is only on VLAN, VLAN 110, which is my house network. So the management port shouldn't be grabbing an IP address because it's on a different VLAN and it's statically configured, but we can look at that in a second. David is here. Welcome in, David. How many people are actually here right now? 10 concurrent viewers and only 4 likes. Yeah, as Haley says. So please press the like button. Let's get that count up. 5 likes. There we go. We're almost passing. I guess this plugin takes longer than I thought it would take. I honestly, yesterday, I think when I started on this process, just hit install and walked away. So I didn't realize. Wow, we just jumped to 10 likes. Woo! There we go. And we have 11 viewers now. See? So we got likes and we got an extra viewer. So that is awesome. Thank you for smashing the like button. Bob says he smashed it earlier. Alrighty, so we're still installing the package. So like I said, I'm going to try to basically use Syncthing to offload my Nextcloud data off-site. So the one thing I'm curious to see how to do is how to give Syncthing access to my Nextcloud data to back it up off-site. So that'll be the tricky thing that I have not even looked at or researched. So that should be interesting. We are now at 14 likes and 12 viewers. So
You're welcome.
Haley says, "You're welcome." I guess she just started watching on her phone.
I smashed that button.
Yeah, Haley smashed that like button. Um, so Key says 1.34K subs. Congrats. Thank you. Yeah, the likes are just flying up now. Brian is just joined. So what we're doing right now, Brian, is we're looking at Truenas and we're installing the Syncthing plugin. So all my data in the house is stored on Truenas, but there's no offsite backup currently, and so I'm going to start using Syncthing to back up at least the important data offsite. And so I'm just going to configure the Syncthing plugin and then go from there. The other thing I'm hoping to maybe work on tonight is Minarca for backups, and then we're gonna get potentially, we'll see how it goes, crazy and like virtualized pfSense, and see if we can't figure out why it can't grab an IP address correctly the first time. That would involve switching over my encoder to an LTE connection live with no failover backup plan. So that could be interesting. Alrighty, so Tommy's in the house. Welcome in, Tommy. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you can make it. If I remember correctly, this is probably your downtime uh, in terms of sporting events. Yeah, Eric says offsite because if you don't have 3 copies of your data, you don't really have the data. Yeah, there's something to be said about that one for sure. Need to have. They always say 3 copies, 2 locations, and 1 offsite. Is I think what they say is the recommended procedure for everybody. Yeah, downtime as far as sports goes. Yeah. A lot of people have found my channel because of sporting or radio or sports or VMix or whatever it is. So Tommy is one of those people who's joined. Alrighty, this is taking way longer than I thought it was going to take. I probably should have left the other one up and running. I'm not quite sure why it's taking so long. I can't be that big of a install or plug-in. So come on. Alrighty, well, I guess let's move on. We'll come back to this because this almost feels like watching paint dry. Because I would have thought it would have updated by now, like installed. I mean, it's not a huge package. That's crazy. Alrighty. So let's Yes, this is the point in the demo where that video with the outrageous French accent comes up and says 3 hours later.
3 hours later.
Yeah, I don't have. I should get that sound effect or that video.
Yeah. I say that all the time.
Yeah, we'll come over here and do it then.
No thanks.
Oh boy.
3 hours later.
How many hours have you guys watched Windows 98 SE installed? Okay. So, funny story about Windows 98. Or no, it was 90. Was it 95? Oh, no, it must have been 98. So, I was in high school, or I guess junior high. Yeah, junior high when Windows 98 came out. And we had a Packard Bell computer, and we upgraded to Windows 98. Well, my brother-in-law upgraded it to Windows 98, and I broke it because I was just learning computers, and so I was playing around with things, and we had the internet, so it was like, try this, and then of course you break it. So He had to come back to the house and reinstall Windows 98 so the computer could actually work. And I broke it a second time. And so the third time, or second time he came over, he basically was like, I'm going to teach you how to do this because you've already broken it twice. It's time that you figure out how to reinstall Windows, so that if you break it again, I don't have to keep coming here and doing it. So he taught me how to install Windows 98. And so I have, to answer your question, I have spent many of hours doing a Windows 98 install because I used to just break it all the time. Never on purpose, but trying to do whatever it was, install a game, whatever, install hardware. I mean, who knows what I was doing back then. And I eventually got pretty good at it. So good, in fact, that I actually was able to install Windows 98 on a computer without a CD-ROM drive by copying the files from the DVD to a second hard drive, moving the second hard drive to the first computer or another computer, and then using the second hard drive to install onto the first hard drive. And it was a whole big thing, but kind of impressed my friends at school. I remember that because they're like, "Well, how did you get the files over to the thing?" And you look back upon it, you're like, "Well, that was really easy." But back when you're a junior, when you're in junior high or a freshman in high school, and you're brand new to computers, that was actually I thought was pretty cool. Toro says, "I remember reinstalling it at a LAN party." Yes, I had to reinstall at a LAN party too when my hard drive crashed. Pretty sure I told you guys that story about the hard drive with the horrible smell. I feel like I've told that story recently. The issue we always had with LAN parties was you could reinstall, but then of course if you wanted to do any kind of updates, if there's 5 or 6 people or 10 people at the LAN party back then, that internet connection wasn't very fast, and it could take you a while to get anything downloaded. A video driver or whatever it was you were trying to download. So I remember a friend of mine, he had a LAN party one time, and he actually had one of the first cable modems in the city. And we were all like, wow, look at this speed. Of course, now that's slow by comparison. Toro says, thank God they had an ISDN line. Wow, I've heard of ISDN lines, never seen it, never knew anybody who actually had one. Jeremy is in the house. Ahoy, mate. Hope you're doing well. The OB install goes well. A little bit stressed. We're planning to deploy it on an OB in less than 5 weeks. Oh, that's right. You're building a new outdoor vehicle or outdoor broadcasting vehicle. Yeah, hopefully it goes well in 5 weeks. How far along are you? 50%? 60%? Hopefully you're like 70%. Eric says 1 megabit per second. Yeah. Pre 2003, that was blazing. ISDN lines for video conferencing. I know ISDN lines are used in radio a lot of the time, or at least they were. But I guess they would work for video conferencing as well. I remember we did have at the school district, we had a T1 line for every school. My until my freshman year, sophomore year, then we had like a 10 megabit line. I think it was. Yeah, I think we had a T1 or whatever it was, and then at some point I have a picture. I wish I could go find it, and it was actually, I think I may. Can I find that real quick? I may have that actually accessible. So let me go look real quick because I think it's like a picture of like all the T modems or all the T1 modems. Well, they weren't called modems. They were gosh, what was those called? I don't even remember what they were called. Or I don't know. PC. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me download and then DSU. They were DSUs apparently. So download. I'm gonna open up ATEM. So yeah, so this was the front of the rack at the central office, and every school came into one of these. So we had like I don't know 7 or 8 of them because there were 7 or 8 buildings, and then this was the back of it with your 10 base T LAN connection, and then your I think that big parallel port went out to the router. I think it was, or I can't remember how that worked. Um, at one point, I remember being explained all this, but yeah. So Toro says he didn't get cable modems until 2003. We had them before that. We had them in, I want to say, late, like early 2000. Jeremy says we got most of the gear in the racks, just so much cable to go in and out of that's being cut. Yep, that's a lot of the OB stuff is running wires. Eric says his little dial-up was 32K. Yeah, Tony says upgraded from dial-up to ISDN and thought we died and went to heaven. T1 is wasn't a theoretical T1 like 1.45? I'm not mistaken. That number sounds familiar. Yeah, we had 56K at my parents' house, and then that was the best. We were in the city, so we actually got 56K. Yeah, CSUs, DSUs. Yep, that was that's the name I was looking for. Tony says they had fractional T1 lines. Bob paid for an ISDN for 2 or 3 years before the cable company installed the 2 amplifiers. Hey, Jeremy, Practical IT. We were just talking about your live stream last night. Yeah, the AOL program. I will remember. I remember when I first realized you could close AOL and continue using the internet without the AOL browser and stuff. I thought that was just like, wow, look at this. I'm so cool. Yeah, it turns out it was just a fancy front end. So let's go back to Truenas and see if that actually is installed yet. I hope it is. Okay, what is going on? Why is this still stuck at 50%? I do not understand. Is it just a page? plugins. Oh, apparently it was just web page was frozen. That's awesome. Why is my transmitter site constantly emailing me? Oh, interesting. I'll have to fix that later. Basically, the transmitter site's emailing me saying the lights are working at 14 amps, which is good. So I'm not sure why they're telling me that the power's good. All right, so let's check out this plugin. So if I expand, can I make this smaller? Jeez. How come I can't view? All right, so how do you get the web page up? So, so this is the address. So, okay. Is there a port? I don't know why this thing doesn't want to resize properly. It seems a little weird. Yeah, Eric says your transmitter always knows when it's Monday night. Yeah, apparently. But this time it's telling me it's doing a good thing. Like it's working correctly. It's just not sure why it's emailing me that it's 14 amps. What am I missing? Is there a port for Syncthing? The default port is 22. Well, that's not it. Nope. Connection refused. All right, so what did I do? What's going on? Anybody have ideas? Because I can Google it, but what if I just restart this thing? I thought it would tell me what port to use. Or we have to give it a mount point first. I've watched Tom Lawrence's video on this like a long time ago, but never actually needed to do it or try to do it. So collapse the. Oh, I would if the browser didn't get froze up or whatever. Come on. There we go. Why is this so large? I don't understand. Should not be this freaking big. Oh, it's not even running now. Well, come on. How long does it take for an IT guy to figure out how to use Syncthing? What was that, hun?
Nothing, buddy.
All right, so Toro says to Tony, I hated configuring fractional T1. Their AdTran 600s. Yeah, you never knew you were going to go blast from the past for sure tonight. Never know where this live stream could go. Does Truenas just hate me tonight? I think it really just doesn't like me. Or maybe it knows that I'm on, online. Well, now I have no jail. Or no plugin, I mean. What happened? What in the world? Okay, that's just weird. What happened? Is this some weird networking issue? Nope, I'm on the right network. What is going on? The plugin system sort of sucks on the core version. Well, yeah, I'm kind of realizing that. Like it literally uninstalled itself. That makes no sense. What if we did this? Give it a different name. Jeremy says try port 8384 when you get it running. Well, yeah, if it ever runs. 8384. 8384. Now we're back to this. I can't imagine that it's actually working. Well, the plugin install seems to be going at least faster this time. Where's the Jeopardy music? Do 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 do. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, Haley sings along. Yes, actually, that would. David is correct. I did choose the DHCP option, so chances are it'll be different. the fun. As Bill O'Reilly says, we'll do it live. I'm guessing my viewership has dropped off dramatically. Yes, concurrent viewers is down to 7. Sorry if I bored somebody. All right, let's go back to the. Where'd my chat window go? Oh, there it is. The i5 starting to show its age. I would say so.
You didn't bore anybody. They're crying because the Dolphins are losing.
The Dolphins are losing. All right, so now apparently it's on 23 now. So 238384. Still not working. Weird. I wish Linux did some more standardization too. I do not like the fact that there's everyone's got a different flavor of this or that, or we do it this way and you do it that way, and it kind of kills Linux in a way because it makes it harder for people who are starting out to get into it, um, almost because it's too convoluted sometimes, and people who are just starting out just want it to work, and if you can't get to work. Like I can't count the number of times I tried just to do Linux like as a kid, not a kid. I mean, as like a college student, I tried Linux. I want to say at least 5 times, if I had to guess. Um, and it was just it wouldn't. It was so hard for me to get understand what was going on with it that I just couldn't get into it, and so I had to abandon that, and then finally it wasn't until like I think I was out of college that I even figured got Linux to work, and you know through more than like 4 reboots. All right, so I feel like this should have like a list, a URL right here. Should it not? When it says it's up, I don't know why I can't get to it. So 10.1.23 Truenas. Oops. Let's just do what everybody else does and Truenas. Add 31,000. 10.1.23.31. Come on. This can't be that complicated. Just to even get started. Yeah, Toro feels like there are 5 standards. Impartial Deb. Everyone praises Flatpak. Yeah, David. And this is the issue I have with Flatpaks, or even I would say to some extent about Docker. Like, unless you know who's creating it, you're putting a lot of blind faith in somebody who posts them on the internet. I get that open source, you could build it and it could be bad there too. But, I mean, if you're just saying, oh, I found a Docker image, I'm going to use it. Well, what does that Docker image have in it? Who built it? Is it going to get updated? Like, you just, you don't know. So that's why I would prefer to build stuff from source. Or if you're going to do Docker, then you got to go with the original, like the source Docker from Nextcloud or Syncthing or whatever it is. You got to be careful about that because you could open yourself up to some nasty stuff. Why am I not able to get to it? This makes no sense. Okay, hold on. Crazy idea. I'm going to join Wi-Fi and unplug my wired connection. Maybe this is a routing issue. So definitely not a routing issue. So this is going well. Look at the Syncthing jail logs. Is there Syncthing jail logs? Oh, people are dropping like flies. This is sorry about that, people. If you're bored. Um, Wow. I did not expect this to be even remotely complicated. You know, what is where are the logs? I will admit I am, like I said, I am not a logs. Reporting? Nope, that looks like huh. Yeah, we could try the turn off DHCP and just do NAT. Let's try that at least. I'm guessing that wait, where's the option to change it? Can I not change it now that I've built it? Probably not. Knowing this thing. I still don't understand why I can't do the fine. Uninstall this one. Yep, looks like I'm going to rebuild it. I don't know why. That just seems weird. So, in preparation for, oh geez, data set does not exist. Well, that's interesting. Storage, pools, IO cage, jails. Interesting. Plugins. Yeah, Toro says, "Yikes!" Yeah, I'm right there with you. I wasn't sure what that was all about. Install. Do NAT this time. That's the wrong plugin. Syncthing. Install. Syncthing NAT. What about advanced? Maybe we got to do some advanced stuff. Auto start, network properties. All right, so there we go. So it's definitely 2200 is the port. Or no, there's several protocols on here. So port number 80, host port is 8384. Okay, so that was right. Okay. All right, so let's just do this. I'd like to see this plugin actually finish, like install. Or is that what I'm supposed to see? Like, is it supposed to tell me that it's actually installed and therefore here's your port to connect to? Maybe because I keep interrupting it. Alrighty, so while that's working, I do want to do a test. So if if we're gonna get to the pfSense idea later, I need to see if the cable modem, or sorry, if the LTE modem will handle my live stream. So while we're waiting for this to install, I'm thinking about unplugging my encoder and moving it to the LTE connection just to see what it does. So we're almost exactly an hour in. Our viewers have fallen off. So let's just try it. I'm going to unplug my encoder and I'm going to plug it into my LTE connection and I want to see what happens. So as the guy in Jurassic Park says, so um, I will have to think about a different way of making that happen in the future. Hopefully you're back now. All right, anyone confirm that we're back? Um, yeah, so that obviously didn't go well. That's interesting. That I would have thought that should have worked. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know why that didn't work. Alrighty. So the plugin's not working either. So this is just this feels like last night all over again. Um, Looks like I got David, Keith, and Jeremy here. I got 3 viewers. We're dropping frames now. I'm not sure why we'd be dropping frames. I am not pushing out a very strong internet. It's not streaming a lot of data right now, so maybe that's is better. Maybe now that I'm actually going to generate some data. Oh yeah. So I'm watching my pfsense traffic graphs, and I was at 1 meg on this image. I put my camera on, and now I'm at 6 megs. So I bet money you're getting a better. Um, you're probably getting a better experience now. Eric says he had to reload the page. Toro's still here. Chris is still here. Well, Chris, were you? Yeah, I think you're back or your first time. I can't remember. But either way, welcome back, everybody. So, yeah, that didn't work. I am set up for constant bitrate. Right? I think so. Um, yeah, my bitrate set for constant 5,000. So I'm not sure why it wouldn't be constant, but that's a good point because it. Yeah, if you're not getting 5 constant bitrate, YouTube would definitely have an issue with it. Alrighty, so let's go back to. Okay, well at least the plugin's doing something now. I thought weren't we already here? I feel like we just were on the 50% and wow, I don't know, that seems weird to me. Toro says the first rule, first rule of messing with your internet connection, let your wife know. We had that discussion earlier.
We did. He did very good.
I did warn her. I'm like, there's a chance that this would happen. Hey, look.
Absolutely correct.
But she says you were absolutely right. So, oh, okay. So here we go. Now that this plugin actually installed, Hey, look, Syncthing. I guess the key lesson is to let it finish. No comments from the peanut gallery over there. All right, so now we have a working plugin. Imagine that. Great, we have a working plugin. So this looks just like the sync thing I remember from back in the day. Doesn't look like it changed much. um, okay. And by the way, you guys missed it. So when I said the Jurassic Park quote and then unplugged the encoder, Haley just lost it. Was laughing. We were just both of us were laughing hysterically, and so she couldn't stop for like a minute. So I'm sorry you guys missed that, but hopefully you all know the scene I'm talking about in Jurassic Park, where what's his name?
I don't know, but I cried. I laughed so
Um, oh, feel like I want to go play it now. Hold on.
hard. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, Haley's like, I can't believe you actually said that. There we go. Share. Hope I don't get a copyright strike on this. Probably not. I'll just talk over it.
Put it in the thing. You don't own rights to it. And then
So here he is, shutting off all the breakers. And then he waits, 5 seconds. And then hits the breaker. And nothing happens except for there's like one cursor on a computer screen.
it's funny when you say it.
All right, so for those of you who didn't understand the reference, I'm sure you all did, but
Thank you, I did not.
yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, that's the guy's name. I couldn't think of that. I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, Keith says, if you ever mess up the internet, she will let you know. The wife, that is.
Your wife sounds cool.
Alrighty, so did you map the pass you want to pass into think of? Yeah, so that was the question, David. I don't remember how you get data into Syncthing to share it out. So that's what I was trying to look for tonight, was to see how we. Because I think you have to go into, and I just closed the window. In Truenas, you have to mount the path. I think mount points. So we have to add a mount point. Oh, of course. You can't add them while it's running. That does make some sense. Oh, look, now it's got a nice, easy to read. So we're going to stop the jail. Mount points, add. We're going to source is Nextcloud. And then we're going to mount it as mount Nextcloud. remember correctly. Submit. Then go back to jails and start. Alrighty, so Toro asked if I have console access to the Switch. I do. I'd have to go in another room, but I do have access to the console. All right, so if we go back to the plugin and we restart, oops, can I add a folder now? What folder does it see? So if I just mount this data, um, wonder how I can figure out the path. Does it list mount points in here? Guess do we gotta copy all this? Is that the mount point? Save. Failed to correct. No. So, oh, probably because it's not actually here. It would be this. Would it be just that? Nope. Hold on. Remove folder. Yes. Remove folder. Remove folder. Yes. So it'd be mount Nextcloud. Is that what I did? Yeah, I think it's just this part. Permission denied. Okay. So that didn't work. Well, that's actually one of the things I was thinking about was how do I give permission to it? Edit ACL. I'd have to add them. Um, hmm. Nope, that's probably not what I wanted to do. Everyone, allow. Well, if we allow everyone, save. Does that fix it or break it? That did not fix it. Or rescan? Yep, still doesn't work. um, hmm. Nextcloud, how do I modify Nextcloud ACL? Edit permissions. Hmm. All right. Anyone got ideas? I'm probably missing something that's blatantly obvious, but probably shouldn't be this hard. Whew. What am I missing? What am I missing? It's obviously permissions issue. I feel like I need to go watch Tom Lawrence's video because I think he answers this like pretty uh, pretty easily. So before I break anything else, let me save this and go back and make sure that my Nextcloud is actually still working, because I'd hate to have broke my Nextcloud in this process. Yes, my Nextcloud is in fact still working. Okay, so well, we may call it quits here. We may try to resume next week. I don't know. I'm feel like I'm stuck, and I'm sure there's an easy answer, and I just can't find it right now. Um, Toro, like I said, I do have access to the Switch. Maybe what I'll do next week is, am I free next week? Yeah, well, I'm free next week. Um, what I'll do is maybe I'll figure out my streaming with the LTE modem, and then plug the Switch into the laptop so I can share it, and we'll go from there. And we can do some Cisco stuff or whatever it is. I'm sure some of you probably never seen Cisco before, so we could do that. I will work on the Syncthing and whatnot and go from there. That is my Nextcloud beeping at me because it could not sync things for some reason. So hopefully I didn't actually break Nextcloud. It looks like it was working, but maybe it didn't. So anyway, I hope you all had fun. Hopefully you learned something. Um, hopefully you just had fun. So thank you for watching. I hope you all have a good night and see you next week. And I need to change graphic and take the graphic and kill my mic. So good night.